Hi, I'm Amy, and today I will be comparing a Sony a7s III and a Canon 5D Mark IV. I've been with Canon for a long time and I just got a Sony camera and I wanted to check and see, is it worth it to change to Sony? We'll find out. They both have the same lenses. We're going to use a 24 to 70 and compare the quality of the footage. Here you have a low light comparison of straight out of camera footage. Please excuse my strange jerky movements. I wanted to test the autofocus as well, and I do think that the Sony did a bit of a better job than the Canon. I did do a quick color grade to match them better, and in this I did see a bit of a better quality in the Sony than the Canon. You can see a bit of grain in the blue quilt and in my jacket, and the Sony is a bit sharper. I tried a lot of different settings, and one thing that I noticed was that the color directly out of the Canon seemed to be a bit more accurate, but the focus capabilities and the sharpness of the image, definitely the Sony seemed to win out. Next, I tested the cameras in daylight in their various settings. I first compared the two in HD, 1920 by 1080 formats, and this footage has a quick color grade to match the footage better. I think that even in this well-lit room, the Canon was still exhibiting more grain than the Sony. Next, I explored picture profiles and settled on picture profile 7 because it is the S-Log2, and log is known for having high dynamic range. As you can see, with that addition, the quality jumps even more for the Sony. Canon unfortunately does not offer log settings out of box, but you do have the option of sending it back to the Canon to get C-Log installed for $100. I did this, and this is when the cameras to me looked the most identical. Though I did have the Sony in 4K in this comparison. Here's the Sony with S-Log and 4K compared to the Canon with no log settings and HD. This takes me to the issues I have with Canon 4K and the reason that I did so many comparisons without it in 4K. So Canon only offers 4K up to 30 frames per second, first of all, while Sony offers 4K with more options and up to 120 frames per second. The other thing is that the file size for 4K on Canon is more than 4 times the file size for 4K in Sony. It's a very large file size, and I've noticed when I tried to work with that as like a wedding videographer, it's very difficult. So seeing the Sony file size being relatively small for 4K video, definitely very nice. Even so, I did do some footage comparisons with the Canon in 4K. The first comparison I did was Canon with 4K without the log, because log doesn't come with the camera. And as you can see, also there's a bit of a crop factor when you switch to 4K on the Canon. Here is the crop factor kind of taken care of so that the two look more similar. Here it is with a color grade. And this is a comparison if you did have C-Log on your Canon camera. This is Sony with 4K and S-Log, and then Canon with 4K and C-Log. And I did one without a color grade, and then I did a quick color grade. And in this case, I actually did prefer the Canon. However, with the file size, it's almost unusable unless you buy like a hard drive every 6 months. In conclusion, I do think that the Sony offers something really great if you are dealing with low light situations and if you are using a lot of footage and you just don't want those file sizes to overwhelm you. the quality of the image that you're going to get is going to be sharper. The autofocus is going to be a little bit better. The camera itself is going to be a bit lighter and more portable. So yes, in conclusion, yes, it wasn't as large of a difference as I had originally been hoping when I bought this camera, but I do see a difference and an improvement. And so if you're thinking of switching to Sony, I wouldn't deter you. And yeah, like and subscribe if you want. Bye.